Okay, now that's the word. That's the word. Texting, flirting, like that's kicking it, talking. We're not dating.
But back on Andy, when we were in the studio, you said that you and Scrappy was kicking it.
Okay, now that's the word. That's the word. Texting, flirting, like that's kicking it, talking. We're not dating.
But I told you, I said, I don't like getting involved with drama with my baby mama. Like,
Are you talking about Erica?
No, I'm talking about you.
Don't refer to me as your baby mama.
What?
Don't do that.
What you mean?
Don't refer to me as
no, but I'm saying
that's
she
your
have my
ex-wife.
kids. No,
Right.
but I'm saying she have my kids. I'm not finna be in the middle of her and nobody. Like,
When Scrappy, and basically, you was talking about me to her. You blocked her after me and you started back being cool. So she want to know why you blocked her.
I seen how y'all going. I was like, I'm not even a part of it.
But you know what, Scrap? I will tell you this. You're wrong because you was flirting with her for a very long time.
You said I was flirting with her?
Why was that wrong?
Show it.
Don't flirt with the eye. Don't flirt with the friends. Don't flirt with the girl in the circle.
I just want everybody to know, I don't give a who Scrap flirts with, okay? He's free to flirt with whoever he want to flirt with.
Once again, I never had a thing with Amy. Ain't nothing happened. A couple of likes, a couple of DMs, like talking about nothing is okay for a single man.
You know what? I'm going to say this. A double-minded man is an unstable creature. And the fact that he's trying to downplay some bull, that's
This is bull.
you done it already, bro. It's okay, Scrap.
I'm getting secondhand embarrassment from Amy. This is like the third man who's publicly denied being in any type of relationship with her. And I'm just like, girl, you could just stay on the low because clearly these guys, they don't want to go public with you. So, like, here's the thing. So you weren't interested in him and he wasn't interested. Is that
what you think?
I don't know.
No, but I was interested in
I never dated Amy.
We've never dated. Y'all hanging out on a date is not dating, guys.
How now, Amy, you're saying you never dated Scrappy when you've been saying you dated Scrappy?
Scrappy got the muscles. He big. He fine. He
Amy!
I'm single. He's single. Just saying. We've been talking on the phone. He's single. I'm single.
I'm not Scrappy, are you?
No, I'm not him, but we've been on a couple dates.
Oh, for real? So it's
You and Scrappy going on dates?
Just for real.
That's wild.
Bambi sat on the edge of her bed, her phone clutched tightly in her hand. The screen was lit up with AmyLuciani's latest Instagram post. The caption read, "Baby Scrappy on the way. God is good." The photo showed Amy glowing, her hand resting on her small baby bump, with Lil Scrappy standing beside her, his arm around her shoulders. Bambi's chest tightened, and she felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. No, 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 she whispered, her voice shaking. This can't be real. She dropped her phone onto the bed and buried her face in her hands. Her mind raced with thoughts of betrayal, heartbreak, and the countless promises Scrappy had made to her over the years. How could he do this? How could he get someone else pregnant after everything they'd been through? Just then, her best friend Kendra burst through the door, carrying a bottle of wine and a bag of takeout. "Girl, I brought reinforcements. We're gonna get through this together." She stopped mid-sentence when she saw Bambi's tear-streaked face. "Bambi, what's wrong? What happened?" Bambi couldn't speak. She just handed Kendra her phone, the Instagram post still on the screen. Kendra's eyes widened as she read the caption. "Oh, hell no. Scrappy did not get this girl pregnant. Tell me this is some fake news, Bambi. Please." "It's not fake," Bambi choked out, her voice breaking. "It's real. He's having a baby with her. After everything we've been through, after all the times he swore he was done with the side chicks, he's starting a family with her." Kendra sat down beside Bambi, wrapping an arm around her shoulders. "I'm so sorry, Bambi. I know how much you've been trying to make things work with him. But this is next-level disrespect. You don't deserve this." Bambi wiped her tears, but they kept coming. "I thought we were finally in a good place. We've been going to therapy, trying to rebuild our marriage. And now this? How am I supposed to compete with a baby, Kendra? How am I supposed to move past this?" Kendra sighed, squeezing Bambi's hand. "You don't have to compete with anyone, Bambi. You're his wife. You've stood by him through all the mess. If he can't see your worth, then maybe it's time to let him go." Bambi shook her head, her mind spinning. "I don't know if I can, Kendra. I love him. I've always loved him. But this This feels like the final straw. Later that night, Bambi sat alone in the living room, the glow of the TV casting shadows across the room. She couldn't focus on the show playing in front of her. Her mind kept drifting back to Scrappy and Amy. She thought about all the times she'd forgiven him, all the times she'd believed him when he said he was done with the drama. And now there was a baby on the way, a baby that would forever tie him to Amy. The sound of the front door opening snapped her out of her thoughts. Scrappy walked in, his usual swagger slightly subdued. He froze when he saw her sitting there, her face streaked with dried tears. "Bambi," he started, his voice cautious. "Don't," she interrupted, holding up a hand. "Just don't. I saw the post, Scrappy. I know about the baby." Scrappy sighed, running a hand over his face. "Bambi, it's not what you think. Me and Amy, it's complicated." "Complicated?" Bambi laughed bitterly, standing up to face him. "You got her pregnant, Scrappy. How is that complicated? It's pretty straightforward to me." "Look, I didn't plan for this to happen," Scrappy said, his voice rising. "It was a mistake, okay? But now there's a baby involved, and I have to step up. You know how I feel about being a father." Bambi crossed her arms, her eyes narrowing. "And what about being a husband, Scrappy? What about us? You keep saying you want to make this work, but how can we move forward when you're out here starting families with other women?" Scrappy hesitated, his shoulders slumping. "I don't know, Bambi. I don't have all the answers. But I do know that I love you. You're my wife. I don't want to lose you." Bambi shook her head, fresh tears spilling down her cheeks. "You say that, but your actions tell a different story. Every time I think we're moving forward, you do something like this. I can't keep doing this, Scrappy. I can't keep getting hurt." Scrappy reached for her, but she stepped back, avoiding his touch. "Bambi, please, don't shut me out. We can get through this. We've been through worse." "Have we?" Bambi asked, her voice trembling. "Because this feels like the worst. This feels like the end." The next day, Bambi decided to confront Amy. She couldn't sit back and let this woman play the happy family with her husband. She showed up at Amy's apartment, her heart pounding in her chest. When Amy opened the door, she looked surprised, but not entirely shocked to see Bambi standing there. "Bambi," Amy said, crossing her arms, "what are you doing here?" "We need to talk," Bambi said, her voice steady despite the storm raging inside her. "About you, Scrappy, and this baby?" Amy sighed, stepping aside to let Bambi in. "Look, I know this is messy, but it is what it is. Scrappy and I have a connection, and now we're having a baby. I'm not trying to hurt you, but I'm not going to apologize for living my life." Bambi clenched her fists, trying to keep her emotions in check. "You think this is just about you living your life? You're having a baby with my husband, Amy. My husband. Do you even care about the pain you're causing?" Amy shrugged, her tone unapologetic. "Scrappy's a grown man. He made his choices. If you're mad at anyone, be mad at him." Bambi stared at her, disbelief written all over her face. "You're unbelievable. You think this is some kind of game, but it's not. This is my life, my marriage, and you're tearing it apart." Amy smirked, clearly enjoying the drama. "Maybe your marriage wasn't as strong as you thought it was." Bambi had heard enough. She turned on her heel and walked out, her heart heavy but her mind made up. She couldn't keep fighting for a man who clearly didn't value her or their marriage. That night, Bambi sat down with Scrappy for what she knew would be their final conversation. "I can't do this anymore," she said, her voice firm. "I've given you chance after chance, but this is too much. I deserve better, Scrappy. I deserve someone who's going to respect me and our marriage." Scrappy looked at her, his eyes filled with regret. "Bambi, please, don't give up on us. We can fix this." Bambi shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "No, Scrappy, we can't. Some things are just broken beyond repair." As she walked away, Bambi felt a mix of heartbreak and relief. She didn't know what the future held, but she knew one thing for sure. She was done with the drama, done with the lies, and done with Lil Scrappy.